Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Fig Life here at the Call Up on the YouTube and Spotify channel. Today, I have a very special guest coming to the main stage. In the wrestling community, he is known as the King of Draw Style, aka Mr. Dream Match himself. If you do not know this guy, please go on his Instagram and check out Dream Match Wrestling because he draws the most fantastic dream matches that we can possibly think of. Andy, what is going on, my man? How are you?
Oh man, I'm good. How are you, bro? Thank you
I'm
for
good.
that
I'm
awesome
good.
introduction, by the way.
No problem, man. Thank you for coming on here and gracing us with your presence.
Oh no, it's the pleasure's all mine, brother.
How's your week going?
Ooh, it's been a rough week, but mainly because my job, that's
Okay.
my shoot job. If I can get rid of that one and just do this full time, I'd be such a happy man.
Trust me, I'm the same way. Like right now, work wise, as far as like real work, it's a freaking pain in the ass. But this one right here it's pretty cool. I wish I could continue doing this full time. Hopefully one day, but for now, it's just me in a lonely room here. It's an amazing guest.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you having
So,
me.
so I bumped into your page. I'm gonna probably say maybe like a year ago through the Lucha Outsider show, and I took a look at it. And for people who don't know, Dream Match Wrestling, do you just want to give us like a quick little history of Dream Match, when it started, what is it about?
Yeah, so I mean, I think the idea of it probably started somewhere in 2018 where yeah, I'll say 2018 is kind of where I started thinking about just something different to do because I know I wanted to contribute to professional wrestling, and I haven't really been doing anything with my artwork at the time. I didn't really have anything really going for me, like, so I knew I wanted to mix the two passions together, art and wrestling, but I didn't really know what to do because I did not just want to do portraits and things like so many other amazing artists that we all know on social media do. So I wanted to stand out because I'm my worst critic. So I don't feel I'm like the best artist or even like in the top 1,000 of artists out there or illustrators. So I wanted to do something different. And then I don't know, it just kind of hit me out of nowhere like, well, why don't you just do dream matches? And I can't exactly pinpoint when it happened, but it happened somewhere in 2018. And I just didn't have like, I didn't execute it until late 2018. And then we birthed it on January 29th, 2019 is when that's when we're calling it our anniversary because that's when we officially posted it on social media. We did Eddie Guerrero versus Naito.
Oh, nice. So when did you know that you had like a good thing going? That you was just like, man. So it started. So you started 2018. Obviously, you were just trying to like get the concept going, and you was probably like drawing up a couple of ideas, and it just didn't seem right. And then like fast forward 2019, where you're just like, okay, like what was like that big break where you said like this is gonna work?
Yeah, so actually, the reason why I never got it done until 2019 was a little bit more on what was going on in my life than not sitting down and not finding the right match. So, it took a while for me to I got an iPad and I was learning how to use Procreate and things like that. And then once I got that handled, the first match I already knew I wanted to do was something with Eddie Guerrero. I knew I wanted Eddie Guerrero in my dream match, and just Naito felt like the perfect fit. Tetsuya Naito with his gimmick of being tranquilo, with his CMLL background, so he's familiar with the lucha style, and just being the fact that he takes his time taking off his suit and he really likes to annoy his opponents and tease them. I just picture Eddie just being Latino heat and having a short temper, just getting so pissed at that whole thing that I think the two of them would have had a phenomenal match. And then as I did that, as I was drawing that one, just I was just getting a flurry of dream matches coming to my head. It's like Chris Benoit versus Shibata came to mind, and then AJ Styles versus Bret Hart, and it was just I had about 11 dream matches in my mind already, ready to go before I was even done with Eddie and Naito. So that's where I knew that I had something going because I had something that was already driving me. So I guess to answer your question, when did I know I had something going on was when I was having fun with what I was doing.
I mean, yeah, that's great because I mean, if you're not having fun doing what you do, then obviously you're just doing it for like a quick buck. But to actually sit there and have fun, and it doesn't feel like a job. It just feels like you're like playing the game. You just trying to unwind is like the best thing. So like when you're going through the whole process of the idea of getting all this stuff together, like what exactly like do you go through? Do you ask fans like what they want to see? Is it more of like what you want to see, or is that a combination of both?
Yeah, so throughout the history, we've been around for 2 years now. So throughout the history, it's been a combination of both. I was still trying to figure out the best way to go about things and really learning from experience and learning what works and what doesn't work. And when I found out what does work, it's just going back to your basics, just going back to what is it that I want to do? Because that's how it all started. I started with wanting to do Eddie versus Naito. I wanted to do Shibata versus Benoit. I wanted to do AJ versus Brett. These were all matches that for me were dream matches. For me were special, and I was having a fun time drawing these people. Little by little, I was starting to get messages from people requesting and requesting and requesting and requesting. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll try it out. I'll try it out. And then at a certain point, I was like, you know what? I'm doing some of these dream matches just from requests, but I'm not having like I'm not fully committed to the match that I'm actually making. I think I need to go back to the basics and just do what is it that I want to do what I feel would be a great match. And that's what we kind of gone back to doing.
Okay. Has there ever been like a match that you had in your head and you said like this is gonna work, and then like you finish the whole process, the color's already on, and then you look at it and you go, no, this is not gonna work.
Um, man, I'm trying to think of one. Yeah, so there was well, it wasn't particularly because of the drawing portion of it. It was just things that happened. So 2020, we all know, was a difficult year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I really wanted to do something with Marty Skrull. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do Marty Skrull and Shawn Michaels, like two very different styles, and I really wanted to do that match. And then the speaking out movement happened, and
Mm-hmm.
that just kind of threw that through a loop. And Will Ospreay was also involved in that, and that was another one that I had in the works that I wanted to do Will Ospreay versus Seth Rollins because at the time they were kind of having like
That
a
Twitter feud, yeah.
yeah, they were having a Twitter feud, and so both of those things were on the works where they were almost done, and it just did not feel right for me to post those and bring those out. I don't know if I ever will, especially with someone like um, Marty, who I know there's a lot of hurt feelings about him, and I still don't really know how I feel about him.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really know both sides of stories. Things can definitely happen to people where they don't get to really explain themselves the best way, and I still don't know whether he's a good person or bad person, but it just still does not feel right to release that
Mm-hmm.
match.
Okay.
So that would
Right.
be one that for me. Is like it was done, it was ready to go, and it was just like that happened, and it's just not right to bring it out.
Right. And then I know you said that you normally used to take like a lot of requests from people. So has there ever been a request for a dream match that you kind of just looked at the request and was just like, nah, I'm not doing this. Like if I post this, people are just gonna laugh and they're gonna wonder what the hell is going on.
There's a ton of them, but the one that sticks out the most because it's the most recent. Someone said the Boogeyman versus Papa Shango,
Mm, yeah,
and
no.
I like no. You know, I'm not opposed to doing some goofy matches. I'm not opposed
Right.
to like I'm a big fan of comedic wrestling.
Hmm.
So I'm not opposed to doing something wacky. Like I'm dying to do Rocky Romero versus Chico Luchador.
Mm.
Because you know obviously they're the same person, so yeah, I think that would be fun and cool to do. Or even Papa Shango versus the Godfather.
Yeah.
That's definitely a dream match because that could never happen unless they do like a
Mhm.
cinematic match like they're gonna do with Karate Man and Ethan Page.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one that just sticks out to me right now. Someone said Papa Shango versus the Boogeyman. I was just like, why?
Yeah. So I know before that you had a website and you were doing, like you were selling like your shirts. Is that still a thing that you're working on, or is it like a work in progress?
Oh yeah, it's a work in progress. So like so many people, I've tried to reach out to wrestlers and try to reach out to companies without ever doing anything, without ever executing on the plan, just trying to
Hmm.
kind of get their approval. And no one was paying attention to me because why
Hmm.
would they? I was just some guy on Instagram.
Hmm.
So once I started doing the actual dream matches and just started getting likes and getting likes, I still wasn't really getting any attention. So then I'm like, I'm gonna just put them on a shirt. I'm just gonna start selling the shirts. And because I tried working with pro wrestling tees, it didn't work out. I tried reaching out to WWE, AEW, New Japan, and all these people. No one was getting back to me. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. And sure enough, little by little, like 6 months in after putting them on the shirts, or no, actually like a year into putting them on shirts, that's when they like got hit with the cease and desist from WWE, and shortly after AEW, which now thinking about it is kind of like a blessing in disguise because
Hmm.
I could take it the wrong way, as in they're trying to stop me from what I'm doing, or it's like I got their attention. Now they
Right.
know who I am, and since that happened, things have actually gotten better than getting worse. Because although I'm no longer selling the shirts, here and there we'll do something really fast, like a 48-hour sale,
Hmm.
and then take it down as soon as it's over.
Right.
But what I have been blessed with is being able to work with some wrestlers. So the biggest one from the dream match world, from the dream match wrestling concept, was Brian Pillman Jr.
Right.
So they Brian Pillman Jr. versus his father, Brian Pillman, and I had his 100% support. He's like, let's do this, let's partner up together for this one. And yeah, it's like my first legit dream match with an actual sponsorship from the wrestler, or with his endorsement. So that was a big deal for me, uh with as far as dream match wrestling goes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I've seen like that was one of the things I was gonna ask you is with all the talent that you normally you draw. Like, do any of these guys reach out to you? Do they say like, "Hey, I really love your work"? Because I definitely know how hard it is to try and like get someone's attention. Especially doing this. I've reached out to like a ton of people, and I just get that brick wall. Certain talent will hit me back and say, yeah, they'll do something, and let me look at my schedule. And others is just like especially like WWE guys, like
Yeah.
they have like this weird contract that they have to go by. So I've actually spoken to a couple of them where they're just like, I would love to do your show. Like I'll send them like samples and be like, hey, I love the concept. I love to do your show because it's just like you're not talking any type of like dirt sheets or anything else like that. I don't have to like reveal anything that's gonna get me into any trouble. But I still have to run it by WWE media. And you know what they do? They just put me all the way down the bottom of the list. And they leave me there holding, waiting,
Yeah.
So
I totally feel you on that, man, because I've had a lot of people, and I've had a lot of wrestlers that I've actually been in contact with, and agents of wrestlers that I've been in contact with, and we have great conversations, and like it looks like something's gonna happen, and we things are said where it's like, hey, yeah, we'll circle back in a week and we'll let you know and blah blah blah. All right, okay. I wait that week, I never hear back from them, and then they
Mhm.
just kind of, it's like I fell off of the face of the earth for them. Like I no longer meant anything. I don't know where the downfall is, or where's the
Mhm.
disconnect. Like, why don't they ever call back? Is it something like what you're describing with WWE, that they later find out due to a contract that can't do business? So
Right.
instead of letting me down, they just don't ever contact me again.
Right.
So yeah, there's been a lot of that. But I've also have had like the Brian Pillmans. I've had the Hope Elijah Burke. It even took about a year with Elijah Burke to actually do some work with him, because I did a dream match. It was a personal request from one of his closest friends.
Mhm.
Requested to me. He's like, "Hey, well, I knew him because he's in down here in Miami, and he told me, hey, I'm friends with Elijah Burke, and I think it would mean a lot to him if you do him versus Dusty Rhodes." I'm like, yeah, man, I'll do it. And I did it. He sent it out to him. And then Elijah Burke contacted me. He's like, man, I'm so grateful for what you did for me and blah, blah, blah. And we were in talks for about a year till we finally decided to start doing some stuff together. So I've got an Elijah Burke shirt with the NWA logo on it and everything when he won the TV championship. So we've got that. Now I'm working with him and Nick Aldis on the dream match of the NWA World Heavyweight Champion versus the NWA World Television Champion, which is Elijah Burke and Nick Aldis. So I've been able to work with them. I have been fortunate enough to do designs, whether they're not dream match wrestling designs, they're just regular t-shirt designs. I have been able to do designs for Wardlow, which is the most recent one, who is an actual official AEW shirt. So to me, that was a big accomplishment. I worked with Vicky Guerrero on the Eddie Guerrero design that we have of him and the game. The documentary rap album is a mashup together. So yeah, I've been fortunate enough to have a lot of these connections, and to me, their successes, especially with just kind of dipping my toes in the last 2 years of doing this. So I'm pretty proud of what we've been able to do, and and about 70% of what I just mentioned happened after the cease and desist. So, like I
Right.
said, it's almost like that cease and desist was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely true. So for a lot of people who are new, like they don't know about like dream match wrestling and like the stuff that you go through, can you talk a little bit about what happened? As, just to get more, because I know we talked about the whole
Oh
season.
yeah, yeah.
So,
We can definitely talk about it. So I received cease and desist from WWE. When I received it, I didn't take it too serious because I didn't believe it was real. I thought it
mhm,
was someone ribbing me or playing a joke. Especially when I can see who visits my site. I can see um, on the website, the people that power my website, they'll send me notifications when someone's in my site and from where. So right around the time that I received a message through my website, because I have a live chat option in my website. So they reached out to me through there, and so that one was already a little shady. Like, why would you reach out to me if you were actually ceasing and desisting me? It would
mhm,
be through an email, something formal. So they did it through there, so I didn't take it serious. And then also the last visit from my website, right at the moment that I received that message, was from the Philippines. So I'm like, okay, yeah, this doesn't seem right. And especially that at that time, I was already getting companies in China bootlegging my designs.
right.
so so there was a lot of shady stuff going on at that time. So I was like, I'm just not gonna believe it. And then oh, about a week or two later, I got an actual cease and desist, an email. I already forgot his name, and I probably shouldn't even say it anyway. But it's like
Don't worry
one
about
of
it. We're
one of WWE's lawyers, and he contacted me. He's like, "Yeah, you need to bring it down." And I'm like, "All right." Well, it was fun while it lasted. I kind of expected that from WWE, you know. So yeah, so I complied. I took down all the WWE related shirts that I had on there. Um, and then the one that caught me by surprise was because the next day I received one from AEW, and that's the one that really hurt me because they did it differently than WWE. WWE just said, "Hey, you've got 3 days to take these down. Uh, if not, we're gonna sue you, whatever the case may be." But
Full lawyer stuff.
yeah, AEW was a little different. AEW was like, I think they said they gave me 10 days. They gave me 10 days to take it down. And they're like, they sent me all this stuff about how it's illegal to steal their designs. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't steal any of your designs. And
Right.
then not only did they wanted me to take everything down, they wanted me to send them exactly how much money I made off of the shirts, which is fine. I have no problem sharing that because my intention was always to work with the wrestlers. So I always had the intention of whatever money I make, I'm gonna leave something on the side for the wrestlers if they ever were to contact me and they want to do work with me. And hey, yeah, here's your cut, and this is what I'm willing to continue giving you, if you want to work together, or we can work
Mhm.
something else out. So they said that, and then the one thing that I really felt like it was a slap in the face was when they said, and we also want to know where you procured these AEW designs. Like, procure these AEW. These are my designs.
Right.
I didn't steal anything from you. I didn't bootleg your stuff because that's not. It's different as if I would have taken like Le Champion's shirt and
Mm.
bootlegged it. I didn't do any of that. This is all my original artwork. It has the likeness of your wrestlers, but that doesn't mean that I bootleg or stole your designs.
You're right.
So that really pissed me off. And then also it was kind of like weird where you have a company that was literally, it's their EVPs built it and have so much content of them kind of the same thing going through the ceases and desists with WWE and being for kind of like for the people, for the fans type of company. And you just didn't really believe that something like that could come from them. Like I probably should have seen it coming because either way, they're still
Yeah.
backed by a billionaire and a corporate company. They're on TNT. They're eventually going to go that route. But I never expected that I would get a cease and desist from people like the Bucks, who
Yeah.
basically made a career off of.
Yeah, you would have thought more like they would have maybe like reached out and said like, hey, maybe we could do some type of work together, or a commission like a job or something like that. Not just like, hey, we want you to take everything down because like you're stealing our stuff. So
Yes. So not only that, like I would even been cool with them saying, yeah, like we're not gonna work with you, but hey, we don't really want shirts that are not official AEW licensed shirts out there. So if you could please take them down, we would really appreciate it, or something like that, something along those lines, something maybe not so formal, maybe not so um, with so much legalities tied into it to make me feel
yeah,
like I'm an actual criminal. But what really then what really made it even worse than that was that the next day, now whether this was coincidental, was this intended, I don't know, but I didn't say anything about the AEW cease and desist. I kept that to myself. I think I kept it quiet for about 2 days. I just didn't want to say anything to anybody, even though I was already hurt. I don't even think I told my wife. But like the next day, I get a text message from one of my closest friends, and he sent me a picture of Pro Wrestling Tees putting out a dream match shirt between the Bucks and FTR, and the format was not exactly like mine, but it was one of those copy your homework type of scenarios where like it. And so many people tell me, no, dude, that's exactly your designs. That like they literally took your design and they copied your design and just did their own version of it. So that's when like things started getting in my head. I'm just like, is that why they sent the cease and desist? because they wanted to bring out this dream match shirt. And is that what they're gonna do now? They're gonna do dream match wrestling shirts, and they wanted to cut me out of it, and all these things are getting to my head. I was just getting angry, and then I made the impulsive mistake of calling them out on social media. I honestly, I think I would have wished a little bit better from my end, the way I dealt with it. But you know, it's weird when you feel like something's being taken away from you.
Right.
And I've never been the type of person to call out people on social media. I hate doing something like that, but I just felt like, I need to share this. So that's when I posted about AEW and what they did on social media. And I posted it, and I just put my phone away, and I went to vent, and then I come back to my phone like 30 minutes later, and it was already like 600 likes and something like that within 30 minutes, and all these comments on my page on the post. And people were having arguments and going back and forth, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then one
Remember,
of
I
my
was one of those
friends
people.
and like, one of my friends called me, like, dude, what did you do? I'm like, well, I don't know, man. What are you talking about? Like, acting like I don't know what's going on. He's like,
Mhm.
dude, you made the dirt sheets. I'm like, what? Like,
Yep.
I don't even know what dirt sheets, where to find dirt sheets really. Cause I try to stay away from all that stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah. And then, like a couple of minutes after all that, like this is still within the first hour of everything happening, suddenly AEW contacts me via email, and they said, well, hey, listen, if you want to work something out, send us a proposal.
Right.
And I'm like, oh shit, okay. Do they know what I just did? Do they know that I just posted them, and that I just put them on blast on social media? Well, whatever, let me do this proposal. And I'm working on the proposal as all this is still going on social media, and people are still arguing, and people are still liking it, and people are reposting it. It made its way on Facebook and even Reddit, um, all within that hour. And then I'm trying to build this proposal for AEW. And then I got the proposal, I sent it out. And then a few minutes later, I got a call, and it was someone from the Jaguars legal team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. For those that don't know, uh, she tells me, "Hey, so I'm willing to go ahead and send out your proposal, but it's gonna look really bad on my part if I'm giving your proposal out and you're putting us on blast on social media."
Right.
And I'm like, man, I knew this was gonna like bite me in the ass. And I'm just trying to like state my case with her, and I'm just like, well, I have like no problem. I have no problem taking it. Like, I did not want to, number one, I was telling myself, okay, don't just quit, don't just say like, oh, okay, whatever, I missed the boat. No, just like, all right, just stay positive. And the first thing that came out of my mouth was like, okay, what do I need to do now? He's like, well, just take it down from Instagram and from Facebook and all that, and I'll send out your proposal. So I did. I took everything down, and then she told me that she was going to go ahead and submit my proposal, or sorry, give my proposal to the AEW legal team. And I haven't really heard from her since. I did contact her again, and she told me basically that it was out of her hands at that point, that she already did what she
Right.
promised, which was submit the proposal. So if she actually did it, I would like to think that she did. I will assume positive intent and say that she did. But I haven't really heard anything from AEW since. Not from AEW themselves directly, but I have been, like I said, I have Wardlow contacted me to do a design for him, and I did that, and it's on Pro Wrestling Tees right now, and yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I remember when I heard the whole thing. I was sitting at home. I think it was like early in the morning, and I seen your video, and I was just like, "What the hell is going on?" So then you was just like, "Listen, I'm taking everything down," and I was just like, "Oh, this is crazy." And I was really hoping that like this wasn't the end of Dream Match Wrestling. And then I saw the video, and I was just like, "Oh man." And then you got on the Lucha Outsider show, and you was telling the story there, and I was just listening to it, and I was just like this is unbelievable. Not like I still like AEW, but like a part of me was just like more on your team than theirs, and I was just like, I'm not watching AEW this week. Fuck that. I don't want to. Like, this is just messed up. Like, you guys preach about, you know, doing all this stuff for like the fans and being behind these people, and this is a guy who, you know, you have talent. It's not like
Thank you.
you're not taking pictures, you know,
Yeah.
and slapping them together on Photoshop and, you know, making it nice and neat and say, okay, hey, this is a design. Here you go. Pay me a whole bunch of money. Like, you're taking the time to draw these things out and actually like putting some type of like artistry touch to it. You know, it's completely different from like, say, like, you know, I love Chalkline, you know, but sometimes they take these jackets and they just take the picture. They get artists to like just take the picture, put it on there, maybe put some color, and then slap it on. You know what I mean? As for you, that if I was to be like, hey, you know, let's design a jacket, you're gonna give me an art piece.
Yeah, thank you so much for recognizing that, and I appreciate people like you who actually see the art behind the work that we put in. Real quick, I just want to thank you, man, so much for that fucking print, bro, with Taz's
Oh
signature,
man, you
man.
know,
I
no,
can't.
listen. When I saw the print that you had, I was like, oh man, I'm a big Taz fan. Like, I love Taz. So when you had it, I was like, damn. I was like, I want to get that. I was like, I actually had it on my phone. And I was like, I remember I posted about it on my page, like on the storylines, and I was like, man, you got to see this. And then the Major Brothers had the toy drive. They were doing the holiday toy drive, and they was like, yeah, we're gonna get big guests. We're gonna let everybody know what the guests are. And maybe like a week before maybe like a week or so before the actual toy drive. So I was like, just to, you know, because of COVID, they didn't want to promise people, and then all of a sudden they don't show up, type of thing. So they really wanted to get these people locked in. So when they mentioned Taz, I was like, holy shit. I was like, Taz is gonna be there. And at first I was thinking about getting my my ECW Taz signed, because I had one still in the box. So I was like, man, maybe I'll get that. Right. And then something in me, like, I was here, matter of fact, I was here at work, and it clicked on me. And I was like, oh shit, Dream Match. He has a picture that he drew up of Taz. I was like, that would be fucking way better than anything else. So that's when I messaged you, and I was like, hey, you know, if it's possible, you think you could just send me the picture? And I would have paid for it too. If you would have told me like, hey, you know, can you just throw some, you know, some money at me or whatever for like a print? I'd have like, listen, fine, no problem. And then you sent it to me, and then I was going to a doctor's appointment, and you were on the Lucha Outsider show.
Yeah.
And you were talking. And I remember that's before that, I read your post about what happened with you with the whole T-shirt thing and like AEW. And I'm sitting in my car. I'm just like, that's some fucked up shit. so then I go and I'm like, all right. And then I heard you on Lucha Outside the show, and I was just like, just hearing, like, I think it was more like I read it and then hearing you, you know, like speak those words, and I was just like, damn. I was like, that's really fucked up. So I'm the type of person that I love to just to do things for people, because once I see that hustle in somebody, I'm just like, damn, like, I hope they don't stop. And I was like, that was one of the things like for you. And then when I was like, you know what? I got it. I'm not going to say anything until I know I have it in my hand. Because I don't want to tell you like, hey, I'm going to get Taz to sign the poster and I'm going to send it to you. And then you sitting there like, yes, it's going to happen. And I'd be like, hey, Taz bailed on the deal. I he didn't show up. And yeah, I'm like, I'm so sorry. So when I finally got it and I was standing in line, that's when I text you. Once it was done, is when I text you, and I was in my car and I said, hey, I got something to show you. And I showed you the video and the pictures. And I was like, I got a poster for you. Like, I was just like, yes, like it was accomplished. And it almost didn't happen because I left the posters in the car and I was standing online. So you know how like you do one of those like double checks, you're like checking yourself and you're like, oh, like, and then I was with somebody that I met before, and I said, oh shit, I'm missing something. And the girl looks at me, she's like, what are you missing? I was like, I'm missing a poster. And I ran to the car. She's like, I'll hold your spot. I ran to the car, got it, came back. And I was like, whew. I was like, this was like the number one thing that I came in there for. I mean, obviously like MJF and everybody else is there, but like my number one goal was to get that Taz poster signed, and I was
Hell
just like,
yeah, man.
that'd have been a waste of me freaking standing in traffic and all this other nonsense to like, get all this stuff done.
Who's this girl, man? She saved us.
Oh man, now she's the girl that's in one of the figure groups that I'm in. Her and her husband. So I
Oh, man.
normally bump into them at like different events that I go to for this. So they would just happen to, thank God they were there, because everybody else I really didn't know on the line. I only knew them. So thank God they were there at the time.
Yeah, man. Damn, I man. But yo, like the way you did it, the fact that you didn't tell me anything about it, that I just figured I was gonna get like maybe a picture of him signing of it, and that would have been enough. Like that for me, that would have been enough. So I definitely appreciate guys like you that like, man, you waited in line to get that Taz signature for me. You didn't have to do that. You did not have to do that, and you did, and then that goes a long way with me, and it's something I'm gonna appreciate forever, man.
I mean, definitely. I mean, like I said, I saw the concept and I just fell in love with it, and then I looked at it as more of as an artist perspective, and I'm just like, man, like imagine what he could do with like other legends, you know what I mean? Like putting Hogan and putting like you did with Piper and MJF, and doing stuff like say Macho Man, or
Yeah.
Superfly Jimmy Snuka, or Vince McMahon for that much, and then just being there and just showing that artistic side and actually showing putting in that work. And that's just something that I definitely appreciated, and looking at a lot of your posts. Any other time people just hit like, or they say like a funny comment,
Yeah.
but you can tell those people who really appreciate it when they go really tell you more details about the work, like what they really loved about it. And for me, like just breaking everything down as far as looking at the picture, I can definitely tell you put a lot of work into it, because it's not just drawing the pictures, putting the names, and then saying like, hey, Dream Match Wrestling presents Warrior versus John Cena. Like there's a hashtag to it. There's a saying. So that kind of makes you want to draw into it more, which is another question I wanted to ask, because when you look at it, you have like all these things, right? So have you ever thought about maybe putting a whole promo together?
Yes. I have thought about that. And I'm just the only thing holding me back is the fact that I don't want to make any talent or like I want to give everyone their due.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously being a whole, if I make a whole card, like a dream match card, there's going to be a main event, and there's going to be mid card section,
Mm-hmm.
and there's going to be the opening match. And if you ever seen a fight bill, like a whole card, um, obviously, there's some that the main event is big, and
Mm-hmm.
then this other smaller matches, the picture, the image is a lot smaller. Maybe it's
Right.
just their face. So yeah, so like, man, I want to do it, but like, do I am I gonna feel like I'm disrespecting Ricky the Dragon Steamboat by just drawing his face? And then at the very top, I have a like, let's say a Kenny Omega full body. Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
man, like I don't know. So I'm still trying to figure out how I would do it, but that is something I definitely want to do, or even like a series of them, even if I have to post them separately. Just yeah, I still don't know what I'm gonna do. If I'm gonna do like my own version of WrestleMania, like a dream match wrestling version of WrestleMania, and I do
Right.
it every year with a whole card of dream matches. I still don't know. It's that like my priorities right now are just basically trying to get a deal done, similar to what like Nerds Clothing has
Right.
done. They've done a tremendous job, and they're someone that I look up to as far as people that started from nothing, literally just people with dreams, and they've now worked with AEW. They have a lot of things going on with New Japan. So my focus is kind of walk through their footsteps and
Right.
try to do what they're doing, because my dream really is to create something that can bridge all these organizations together and all these eras together, because feel like everything is just so complicated because of contracts, and because this person works at this company, they can't work with that person from that company. And I would like to kind of bring that all together and just like, hey, what if Macho Man faced, Macho Man, who WWE owns the licensing to, would face a John Moxley from AEW, and you know, why not work together? And so
Right.
many things can happen off of that, and not just from a shirt. Like things can happen from creating a show. They could have a show where they actually sit down a legend from the past next to a present star, and they can even cut promos off of each other. He's like, no, well, if I was in the ring, I'll do this to you and this, and that. Like they cut actual promos with you, like if the match will actually happen. Like there's so much possibilities with just the concept of dream match, and that's really why I started this whole thing, because before I started illustrating them, you would see dream matches before, but it was always like you said earlier, someone just cropped an image that they found online and pasted it next to another cropped image, and like, oh, dream match. So I wanted to actually make it into an art. But yeah,
No, but you definitely have, man.
thank
So
you.
I'm gonna leave you with this. Here we do collect a lot of things. We do collect, a lot of wrestling, um, figures and memorabilia. So I'll leave you with this. Mattel is the big license for WWE. They call you right now and they tell you that they want you to make any elite that you want. Who's it gonna be, and what accessories are you gonna put with it?
Oh, man,
That's-
it's got to be Bret Hart for me.
Okay.
Bret Hart, with the Eagle Wing WWE WWF belt.
Hmm.
Yeah, his sunglasses, the jacket, everything.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Brett has a lot of figures that are iconic. The one that's for me, the one that sticks out is the King of the Ring, Bret Hart,
Yeah,
that they made. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
yeah, man. Like, dude, you don't know how much Bret Hart means to me, and right behind him is Eddie Guerrero, dude. So yeah, if you ever ask me what would I want from who, it's always gonna be Bret.
That's good. So where can people find you, like if they want to check out more of your work?
Yeah, so main place you can find us is on Instagram. So at Dream Match Wrestling on Instagram. We also have a Twitter, and it's just starting to like kind of come to life in a way. It's at the official DMW.
Hmm.
And then you can also go to our website, which is dreammatchwrestling.shop.
Okay. And can people commission work for you
Yes.
at this time? Okay, great.
Yes, I'm always working with people. I'm always doing commissions, and people don't really know how busy I really am with the commissions because, out of respect to my clients, I don't post my
Mhm.
commissions. That's on
Right.
them if they want to post it. So yeah, I'm always doing commission work, man.
Nice, nice. Well, man, thank you so much for for taking the time out and talking with us and telling us more about your your baby, pretty much.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me, bro. I really
All right.
appreciate everything you've done.